In the white, Pine-Bluff in the black. All-time matchup number 8 between the programs. Brianna Sorensen and Brian Burton. I'm John Little. We are ready to go. SMU coming off that 87-85 victory over Butler, holding off the Bulldogs in the end. Pine-Bluff is playing game 6 of 11 straight on the road to start the season. And Samet Yigitolu takes the pick and roll feed from Boopie Miller for 2.
Yeah, beautiful design play to get their big man an easy basket to start this one.
Boopie Miller coming off that career-high 12 assists last time out. For Pine-Bluff, the Golden Lions, their starting lineup, Alex Morosini along with Jaquan Scott, Milan Charles, Keon Williams, and Trayvon Payton. A really talented group for Solomon Bozeman. They just don't have much depth right now. They're trying to get some guys back from injury.
Yeah, it feels like this is his best group as far as talent. Feels like he has all the pieces that they need to do the job they want to do, finishing at the top of the conference and having a chance to make a tournament run.
And one of the dudes that can do it is Jaquan Scott, who actually was 20 of 20 from the free throw line this season before that miss. But he's been at big-time programs like Mississippi State in his career.
Yeah, one of the top JUCO players in the country coming out of Salt Lake. Talented young man coming home to Dallas, played at Mansfield Timberview, and definitely will look to have a good homecoming.
Yeah, a couple Dallas kids on this roster. Meanwhile, for SMU, this starting 5 averages 70 points a game. Out of the corner, the three-pointer does not go down for Jaron Pierre Jr., who had the game-winning layup last time out against Butler.
You see early both teams wanting to play fast, get out in transition. The question is who can slow the other team down?
Pierre Jr. out to the corner to Boopie Miller, slides into a 3, and Morosini tracks it down. He's from Arlington, just about 20 minutes away.
Golden Eagles giving SMU a little bit of trouble with their zone that they've started in defensively.
And they've had some games this season, as that one gets thrown away, where they've hung around for the first half of games against teams like OU and Washington and Vandy as well. Solomon Bozeman, a longtime coach's son and a great player in his own right at Arkansas Little Rock back in the day.
Yeah, led them to the dance, was a big-time player himself, and is in the year for him where he wants to turn the corner with this Golden Eagle squad.
Yeah, 5th year. Is that normally a big year for a young coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he talked about it with us in our conversation, just his growth and patience and having more patience with the young man. He has the buy-in and the belief, and that patience helps him get through and make the run when they need to.
Young man from Arkansas, back in Arkansas as a Division I head coach, as cutting to the rim, Jaron Pierre Jr. after 17 and a half a game, heads to the line for 2.
Yeah, one thing about a great scorer, which is what this young man is being able to get fouled. And speaking of great scoring, Solomon Bozeman was one of the best players in the Sun Belt Conference when he led Arkansas Little Rock to the tournament under Steve Shields.
No, it was absolutely outstanding and was the Sun Belt Conference Student Athlete of the Year as a senior, and an honorable mention All-American. He's a dude that could get to the free throw line. Averaged almost 17 a game as a senior.
Yes, he would talk about with the players he likes to recruit. He was a dude himself, and he's got a team full of some guys that he feel like can be dudes. His big mission this year with this team is, like many teams in the country, is getting them to play together. You have so much accumulation of talent, and everyone's trying to prove how good they are. He wants them to prove how good they are together by making extra passes and being a little more disciplined on offense.
Doesn't matter who you are, both teams having trouble finding the range, finding the cup early on, but a 3-1 lead for SMU. Let's take a look at the keys to the game tonight as SMU and Arkansas Pine-Bluff get together.
Well, you can see just slowing down this SMU offense is going to be a big key. And there you see a good execution offensively for Pine-Bluff. They need a 40-minute edge. Coach Bozeman talked about they played well in spurts. They need to do it for the full game. And for SMU, they must dominate the paint. 62 points in the paint last time out. And a defensive focus from start to finish is what Coach Infield wants to see. DJ
Edwards adding more three-pointers to his game this season and looking for his shot. That's a big difference for the senior. Knocked away by Miller out front. Loose ball. Yigitolu pounces for SMU.
Yeah, SMU scoring about 26 or so points a game in transition. Didn't look to take it that time, but so dangerous when they're able to get steals to lead to those fast breaks.
Both teams, high-paced teams. SMU getting out in transition a little bit more this season. Miller stares at one instead, cuts to the glass. There's nobody there to help. It's a goaltend, and it went in anyway for Boopie Miller.
Well, what you saw right there was a great example of what not a lot of players understand, that tempo and the pace. He went slow to fast. Most of the time you see young players wanting to go fast to faster, and he just showed you a decel to an excel. Yes, I did say that. He slowed down so he could speed up and got the wide open layup.
SMU coming with some three-quarter court pressure. Trying to turn over those Golden Lions early on. Jaron Payton was the first man to hit the three for Pine-Bluff. He was a D2 outside bomber for Limestone University before the university closed and he had to transfer, and he found a home in Pine-Bluff. Milan Charles out of France with a reverse.
Yeah, good job executing. That's one thing Coach Bozeman wants to see. More patience, less turnovers, and poor shot selection. Can't get any better shot selection than a wide open layup.
Pine-Bluff's showing some trapping zone defense as this one gets knocked away from Cement Yigatolu, and it stays right here with the Mustangs. Andy Enfield, second-year head coach at SMU, 28-11 in his 2 seasons. 11 wins shy of 300 in his career when you go back to Gulf Coast, USC, and of course here at SMU. Corey Washington, best defensive player SMU has had early this season, leans in, and Yigatolu cleans up the glass inside.
Yeah, again, where they want to do their damage is in the paint. Drives, post-ups, offensive rebounds, and transition.
Golden Lions, not bad size, especially for a SWAC team, but they just don't have anybody that can match up with Yigatolu at 7'2". Jaquan Scott, they want him to get in the paint, forcing his way in, and Washington, always thinking rebound, pulls it down for SMU. Yigatolu trying to do his work early against Scott. Keeps it alive, but Jaron Payton comes out with a board.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Refs letting them play both ways. Something coaches often like to see, not letting guys get in early foul trouble.
SMU did not get off to a great start against Butler last time out. A little better this time, as this one ricochets off the rim for Scott and out. The SMU Mustangs leading into a 10-6 lead early on Arkansas Pine-Bluff.
Standard. They want 16 assists, but if they get 20, great. If they get 10, though, that means they're not sharing the ball, spacing the floor, and moving the ball the way they want to. So that assist column is definitely something to look out for tonight's game, Brian.
Yes, it is, and there was an assist right there out of a timeout, which coaches love to see the concentration of players being able to take what's coming from the huddle and put it on the floor.
Yeah, Mitchell Holmes scoring again. He is 11 of 13 from the floor early this season. You know where he's going to get his shots, and he normally is going to make them. That three caroms off, and Kyle Brown, big rebounder inside, able to bring it down for the Golden Lions. The ball thrown away. Out top, Boopie Miller all over it, along with Miracini. And it's jump ball. It's going to stay right here with the Golden Lions.
Yeah, had a great conversation with Holmes during shoot-around, and he talked about how much he grew, not only physically, adding about 18 to 20 pounds from his freshman year where he redshirted, to now just having more comfortability, having a better IQ for what the system is and understanding what coach expects and learning how to use his physicality to be productive.
Yeah, look at B.J. Edwards getting in that passing lane, knocking it to himself and setting up Pierre Jr. from out top to rain in a triple.
Yeah, he's been awesome since he's been in the starting lineup. Led the team last game in rebounding, one of the things that coach really was challenging him on to be better. And he has stepped up to the challenge, especially in the second half, last game.
Miracini comes up short. Yeah, Andy Enfield said there was no D in Jaron Pierre. There was no rebound in Jaron Pierre in the first half. But second half, he looks so much better at all the things we want him to do. Sam Walters, the ultimate stretch four, nails one out of the corner. This Pine-Bluff team can be susceptible. Three-point drizzle. But Andy Enfield said after the Butler game, you know, we're not a three-point hungry team this season. What we're hungry for is we want to get to the rim. We want to put pressure on the rim. We want to get to the free throw line this season. That's what they've been doing a great job of.
Well, when you come into a game knowing that SMU has scored 62 points in the paint the last game, you're going to try to clog the paint. So those three-point shots get more and more open because of that.
Pierre Jr., another three. No, this one rims out. And in addition to that for SMU, they're top 25 in the nation when it comes to free throw percentage and free throw makes as well. Walters had the rebound. He goes down hard. Is it stolen away from him? The layup is good and one. And there's some concern as well for Walters. Went down with a non-contact issue here.
Yeah, it looks like he's in a lot of pain. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Definitely.
Yeah, the ankle.
Yeah, you hope it's just a sprained ankle. But after he played so well in his early minutes, making that open three, you'd like to see him be able to ride that momentum. But unfortunately, got a little bit of an injury, and like you said, hopefully not too serious.
Well, Keon Williams able to take advantage of it. Yeah, it's just tough to see. And man, great to see him get back to his feet. The way that ankle rolled, it really took a turn.
Literally.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Have you ever done that before yourself?
Oh, dude.
When you used to play?
Dude.
Was that a part
of that was the injury. I always have.
When you played?
When I played.
When did you play?
Every time. You know, up to like 5, 6 years old, something like that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just like pickup in college. That's what I would always do.
I mean, that counts.
It does. Keon Williams not able to knock down the free throw, but Williams with a great start to his career at Pine-Bluff, averaging 16 and 8 coming into the ball game.
That would have been a new one, a 5, 6-year-old getting an ankle turn.
I know.
That would have been a new one. I like that, though.
Going to stay right here with SMU as you get Tolu is back in. Some great early work by Mitchell Holmes. And you think about Mitchell Holmes, you know, you got this big SMU freshman class, right? Everybody's touting top 10 in the nation. Some people think it's better than that. And then you get Mitchell Holmes as well, who redshirted last year to even add to that youngster lineup. Miller dashing through two to set it up to the corner to a freshman in Davis Ray, but BJ Davis Ray misses over the top.
Yeah, and Chance would also be in that same category as a young man who redshirted last year and has the chance to be a part of that.
"12 minutes left in the first half. SMU by 10. Ripping around the corner, Milan Charles out of France. Mirosini fade away from the short corner, doesn't fall. Pulled down by Nigel Walls for SMU.
A little bit of razzle-dazzle right there from Pierre. Something similar to what we saw in that game winner last game.
Outside, Ramel Lloyd, junior transfer out of Long Beach State, started his career at Nebraska, is in. Spot up in the corner by Milan Charles, falls off the rim, and SMU has a chance for some run-out points. No numbers. Miller pulls it back, and we've got another man down for SMU. It's Samet Yigitolu for the Mustangs. So while they look at the SMU big man, they step away as well. Caused it to become unsturdy. So the Mustangs already a little bit young inside, a little thin inside without Jaden Toombs until next week. Going with some younger players inside there as Jaron Pierre Jr. can certainly fill it up and has 6 already. Nice flashing play inside, but Scott waiting for the skies to clear, not able to lay it home.
Yeah, really good execution for the back screen to get Scott the open look. Just kind of rims out the last minute. SMU takes away the rebound.
Mirosini, some really good defense on Pierre. Turning inside, Holmes hits the baby hook. He continues to produce.
Yeah, he talked about that as well in my conversation with him. He said I know what my go-to moves are. I have about 3 things I know I look for, and when I can get to those, I feel good about it.
Miracini can really shoot it from outside. Not able to knock that one down. A former D2 guy who is in his first year on a full scholarship. What a great story. Pierre out of the corner. Another 3 for Jaron Pierre Jr. And another timeout called by Solomon.
To be
perturbed. Yeah.
Really impressive.
Imperturbability. That is a huge thing, not only for broadcasters, but also basketball players.
Well, there's imperturbable situaty again.
He'll head to the line to shoot a couple.
Yeah, again, there's those quick decisions. As soon as he catches it, puts it on the floor to attack, able to draw the foul against 2 defenders. I believe that's Jaquan Scott's 2nd foul, which would be big for SMU because they can get one of the best players on Arkansas Pine-Bluff's front line to have to probably sit for the rest of the half.
Well, they're going to be nice to him. They're going to go ahead and get a foul on Peyton instead, which is his first. Still, there is a line change awaiting for Arkansas Pine-Bluff. It's Jaron Pierre Jr. who had the game-winning reverse layup with 4 seconds left on a second-chance opportunity for SMU against Butler over the weekend. Make the Mustangs 4-0, hits 1 of 2.
Well, his confidence just continues to grow in Coach Infield's system. Yes, he was a top 4 scorer in the country last year. Player of the year from CUSA, coming over to SMU, and early on wasn't playing as efficiently as he is now, but starting to play some outstanding ball in this system.
And started the last 3 games after coming off the bench for the first couple. Miracini, I love his game. He is unflappable, the 5'10 senior out of Arlington.
Yeah, amongst the trees, not afraid. Great finish.
Washington, speaking of not afraid to get inside, he's fouled by Trayvon Payton.
Yeah, just the athleticism and body control in the air. Great finish at the rim. Again, Coach Bozeman loves the talent on this team, just working to put it all together for consistent stretches. And meanwhile, Mr. Consistency, Washington, has been really just outstanding in his play here at SMU. Mr. Double-Double, elite on the glass, elite in the winning plays category, and has lived at the rim, and again, always on time.
Yeah, one of these guys that is helping SMU at the free throw line. He gets there a bunch and he knocks him down. He's 90% at the line this season.
Yeah, averaging right about 14 and 7. Again, just Mr. Consistency, does a little bit of everything, and his shoe game is on fire tonight.
He brings the juice in every respect. See if the Golden Lions can get things going offensively, down by 18 early. They've been able to score at times this season. Nice job to hang in the air by Miracini. That extra little beat gave Scott time to break free.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is the smallest lineup that we've seen from SMU this season, playing virtually all guards. 5 guards on the floor, a lot more speed and athleticism on the floor. Not as much height. But speaking of athleticism, Jermaine O'Neal Jr. gets the fall-away jumper to go down.
Jermaine O'Neal Jr. about 7 inches shorter than his dad. The tallest guy on the floor right now is Chance Purrier at 6'7". Three-pointer fired off by Miracini, and the rebound knocked out. Last touch by SMU. Golden Lions have a lot of different guys who can run the point, including Keon Williams, who Solomon Bozeman really compares to Marcus Smart, a Metroplex guy from Marcus High School, but of course has made his name in the NBA with his defensive exploits. But Keon Williams on the offensive end gets it done here.
To put full weight on his ankle here, and we can see that he's obviously now out for the Mustangs, playing on the floor again.
Now that thing's going to swell, I can tell you right now. But right now is the best time to go ahead and stay out there, keep the blood pumping on it. Couple free throws on the way here. But good to see that it wasn't a severe injury for Samet Igatola.
I mean, you can see the look on Coach Infield's face when that injury happened, hoping, as he should, that his big man was not in any serious harm's way, as they already have Jaden Toombs, a heralded recruit, one of the top recruits, to lace it up. Has not had a chance to lace it up just yet. And then you have Sam Walters, who got injured in this game as well, who looks like he will not be back with ice on his ankle.
Edwards a little bit long, yeah. Right now they're waiting on Toombs to get medically cleared. He's been working through a wrist injury. I think he's about a week away, and he's going to add something special to the front line for SMU when he's back. Williams around the freshman O'Neal. Couple of extra passes. It's back to Scott. Scott, a really special player at 6'8", an inside-out guy. Offensive rebound by Charles. Sticks it out for a three-pointer. Hayes not able to knock it down. Boopie Miller, 23 and 12 last time out. It's Edwards, who has a couple 20-point games this season, new career highs. Igutolu slapped at. He's able to hold off Scott. Back to Miller. Kicks it out to the corner. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. comes up short. Igutolu fouled. And they're going to get it on Jaquan Scott. 15 foul on Pine-Bluff.
Yeah, Igutolu's so good on the defensive glass when he's in great position like that and drawing these little fouls to get closer to the bonus. Something, again, they make 23 free throws per game, SMU does right now, so always a threat to be on the attack, and that physical play pays off for them to get to the line when they're in the bonus.
Well, to get there as soon as possible. Pine-Bluff will let them. Underneath, Edwards runs into consternation. Triple team. Miller is able to slap it right back. The shot clock never reset. Finally, it's cleanly stripped by Lloyd. And Washington comes back with another swipe. Boopie Miller. Transition triple. It's bottoms for B.J. Edwards.
Yeah, B.J. Edwards playing good basketball as well, shooting it well from the three, and this is a three-point shooting game that you love to have these games as you keep building confidence in this season of having games where you make threes because they've already proven how well they're going to be able to do things in the paint. So if that confidence can grow from the three-point line and beyond the arc, this SMU high-powered offense that averages right at almost 90 a game gets even more high-powered.
Yeah, last year they were really good three-point shooters, and it's not like they looked for a lot of volume in threes. They did hit 8 a game, but they were at 38% from three. That was 21st in the NCAA this year. Not quite at that type of clip.
Well, the thing about it is you just need the timely ones. You need to be able to have it with confidence, as you can see. You know, they're shooting 30, right at 35, 34%. Not as high of a percentage, but if you can make consistently the right threes, it makes their inside attack even harder to guard.
Still no trouble scoring for this team early this season. 88.5 points per game. Shooting 57% from the floor so far. Pine-Bluff has been limited to 32% shooting. Long possession here, and a misguided pass by Kyle Brown. Mershini could not save it in.
Well, Pine-Bluff has controlled the possessions well, and Coach was talking about wanting to improve the shot selection. They haven't taken a lot of bad shots. They just have had a hard time finding ways to score against this SMU defense so far. That's one place that Coach Enfield wants to continue to see his team improve, is on the defensive side of the ball.
And 1 of 9 from 3 so far is Pine-Bluff. Pierre, a rare miss from deep. Williams. Payton. Back outside. Williams caroms out the 3.
Again, that's the right shot. Those are the shots Coach Bozeman wants to see from his team. Just rims out. But you want to keep getting a steady diet of that kind of quality.
Miller, not often guarded by a smaller player. Goes to the dirt fadeaway. Doesn't fall. But how about Jaron Pierre Jr. on his pogo stick? Okay, it doesn't fall, but he's after the offensive glass. He grabbed the D-board last time up. He's getting out there and rebounding.
And this is something that people talk about with player development. Sometimes you think it's only with freshmen that come along over the course of a career or a young player. Well, you could see the development. Obviously, the talent is there, but part of development is the buy-in to a role and getting a player to increase his game in areas that he hasn't typically done it. And Pierre's rebounding is one area that SMU has been able to get the development to pay off.
Well, a little bit of a moment of lapse for Corey Washington there. I think he was fearful it was going to be an over and back, and so he picked the ball up, traveled with it, so it is a turnover. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, one of those moments where this young man doesn't make a lot of mistakes like that. Probably just misunderstood the moment, it seems like, thinking that it was a backcourt.
It's only the third giveaway on SMU in the first half. The Golden Lions have only turned it over 6 times.
Yeah, SMU's defense has just been really stingy today, making it really tough on Pine-Bluff to get the quality of shot they want.
I mean, that's a tough 3 right there. Boopie Miller going after the rebound. It's tracked down by Scott. No-look feed inside Williams. Igutolu is in the air, and now he's on the ground. Give him a minute. Give him a minute. He's 7-2.
I think it was probably more scary than it was an actual, it's just like, I'm glad that wasn't worse. Let me just relax for a second.
It's like chopping down a Christmas tree.
Yeah, you don't want to see your big man 7'2" up in the air on a shot fake like that. That's where coach is probably going to tell him, hey, just keep your feet on the floor and wall up. I don't want to see you do that ever again. We need you for the rest of the season, big fella.
Samet Igutolu, 12 points, 8 rebounds a game this season, and shooting 51% from the floor. Yes, the foul was on him. Andy Enfield seeing his season flash before his eyes a couple times here in the first half. Keon Williams from Jonesboro, Arkansas, originally. Started his career at Oklahoma State, a couple productive years. Moved on to Abilene Christian, and now here to Pine-Bluff. And you can definitely see the pro potential in Keon Williams. He'll be making money playing basketball somewhere.
Well, the part about this offensive possession is when you can't score, you need to get to the free throw line. They were able to get 1 out of 2, but haven't been able to score in the last 4 minutes from field goals.
As a team this season, they're only shooting 37% from the floor. That's just not great, but they have been playing some really good teams. Boopie Miller, 2 feet in the paint. Out to Pierre Jr., lines it up just off to the left, but skying in and not rewarded for it was Edwards. Here comes Williams. Fleet of foot drops it off for Charles, the Frenchman, for 2. Timeout, SMU.
Yeah, that shows the transition that the Golden Eagles want to be able to play like. Haven't been able to do it much, but good.
They either know him or know his dad along the way, and those connections run deep as he helps build his team in Pine-Bluff.
Yeah, a guy that grew up in the gym. Nice finish there by the big man inside. But yeah, young man who's now growing in his own head coach experience, and dad was a Division I assistant as well, and it's been around. So the relationships that are able to be cultivated, like you said, between the two of them and the Bozeman last name and what that means is everything in the state of Arkansas.
What about the respect for lower level type of basketball, like Division II programs, with the fact that his dad coached in Division II? You got Miracini, who's a Division II guy, as Boopie Miller knocks down a 3. You've got another Division II guy in Trayvon Payton stepping up and starting this season as transfers for the Golden Lions.
Well, I think you just understand the level of play that happens at that level. You know, hoopers, if you can hoop, you can get it done. It doesn't matter what division is next to your name. And Coach Bozeman understands that well.
SMU's got a lot of talent on this end as Igutolu forces his way inside. He's going to be called for an offensive goaltend. Igutolu thought that one was headed off. Let's see.
I'm actually surprised that he didn't get called for the foul. There's a lot of contact as he goes up for this.
Jaquan Scott, you mean?
Yeah.
Andy Enfield agreed with you.
Yeah, I'm also a little surprised that the offensive goaltend, it was on its way out. He maybe could have waited maybe another half a second, but close call. But I love the way the big man, when he gets deep position like that, I say this often watching him play, the deeper position he gets, the better he is at just being able to go up and finish.
Jason Hayes, they love this kid. 3-star recruit out of Hot Springs. He's a future star. Just a freshman, wears number 2 for the Golden Lions. Miller looks off Igutolu. Instead, Pierre from the corner can't get the bounce. It's kept alive and out last touched by the white shirts of SMU.
Yeah, more 3-point shots going up in this half than typically even in the game. 17 threes already attempted by SMU.
Yeah, SMU's season high was 18 in their opener.
Yeah, here you see them letting it fly with confidence, shooting it. Average of 35%, which is what they're shooting on the season. Got off to a hot start, cooled off a little bit, and a few have rimmed out. But love to see that confidence of letting it fly that way.
Edwards knocks it into the backcourt. Edwards blocked from behind by Keon Williams. Catch and shoot three, Miracini. Oh, what a play.
That's a small example of what Coach Bozeman hopes this season will look like as they keep getting better. The defense on one end, that's a highlight leading to transition three, nothing but the bottom of the net.
My goodness. Those are two athletic guys going at it. Edwards getting blocked by Williams, but Yigatolu just too muscly inside.
Again, deep position, doesn't matter if you double team him or not. Love the decision and the patience and going up strong.
Less than a minute to go in the first half. SMU by 18. Scott playing with a little more pace, hits Miracini, wings it outside. Lloyd, 17 feet away, drops it in. Lloyd's been out, but really adds size and playmaking ability now that he's back in the lineup. Edwards lofts the three and hits. That's his third of the first half.
Hey, letting it fly. You said it, 18 is the high on the season for attempts. They now are 7 of 18 for 39% in the first half in this one.
Taking what the defense has given him in this one. Pine-Bluff playing with fire, and SMU having no trouble. 2 seconds left in the half. Williams gets it off in time and knocks it down. They count it on the floor. They'll review it, but it looks like it.
I would expect SMU to have continued open threes because, again, the 62 points in the paint is what they do best. You want to keep them doing something that they don't do well. So taking away the paint is not the wrong thing. You just can't give wide open threes when you do take away the paint.
It's going to be fumbled out of bounds by Yigatolu, but the last to touch it, Jaquan Scott. Meanwhile, on the offensive end for Golden Lions, who would you like to see in the pick and roll if Coach wants to see more of that?
Well, I think the thing for the Golden Lions, they have to get inside the arc more and share the ball to go back outside. So now you have rotations going for SMU. They've pretty much kind of played inside the arc or outside, and the inside hasn't been distributing. It's kind of been more in a one-on-one aspect.
Little bully ball there for Washington against the much smaller Miracini. And ripping it to the cup, Trayvon Payton, who had an early three, knocks down one going to the cup.
Yeah, they haven't done straight line drives like that where they're decisive, going strong off 2 feet.
7 points for Payton in this one. Coming off the 22 against Vandy. Ball tipped away. Miracini has it with a 2-on-2 to Williams, and he is fouled hard by Washington. Couple free throws for Keon Williams.
Yeah, you can see UAPB has responded to Coach's halftime message of the fight. And again, that defensive discipline, part of the discipline he talked about, getting out in transition. They haven't played in transition much in this game, and getting stops is a big reason why. And you see when they are able to get stops, they can play their brand of basketball.
Keon Williams, the productive first half with 5 points, 3 assists as well. That last second shot at the end of the first half, it was just by maybe a tenth of a second. A little too late. And he's back up to 7 now, shooting 86% at the line coming in. Yeah, neither team really getting out and running much. Only a combined 13 fast break points between the two teams. Boopie Miller rejecting the screen, taking it to the rack. A lead count. Johnson up the floor for the deuce for Payton.
Yeah, again, this is what you want to see if you're Coach Bozeman on the bench, being able to get your team to respond from halftime. Can you take the message and can you apply it on the floor? So far, they've done that in this first minute and a half.
Yigatolu with a good low catch. He's denied by Kyle Brown. Try to keep him from getting in position to shoot the ball beyond the baseline.
Yeah, 6-0 run for Pine-Bluff, and if you notice, they changed the lineup to start the half. Some guys that normally would start, like Jaquan Scott, didn't start the half. Maybe coach sending a message. Maybe there's something else behind it. Either way, the 6-0 run led by that group that did start and setting the tone early on in the games is all about, early on in the season, all about setting the tone for your team to understand what you expect and what you are not going to allow to be acceptable.
No shot there as Williams commits the foul, and it's great for Pine-Bluff to see the team responding to the call for some intensity, especially defensively here.
Yeah, Coach Bozen is all about grit and toughness. He said if there's anything I want people to know about this program and what we are built on, it is work, grit, and toughness, and they are showing some resemblance of those things right now.
Miller gets the edge on Williams for 2, and after the play, may have a double technical here as well, but first the end one for Boopie.
And Miller just picking up and doing what he does. Just, hey, you guys think you're on a run? Well, let me just show you how I can answer that run. Do what I do. He's a shot creator with the best of him. He can create a play at any point in time with the ball in his hands for himself or a teammate. We talked about it in the open. He contributed to over 50 points where he created offense for his SMU squad. And talking to coach at shoot around, he said sometimes our best offense is get the ball to Boopie and get out of the way. Let him go make a play. And the ultimate playmaker, Chi-Town, stand up.
Yeah, especially with the way he's playing this season. And over the last 2 games especially, shooting about 70% from the floor.
Well, they're talking about so much of his offseason dedication to his defense and just being a complete basketball player. He wants to not only get his team into the tournament, but he also wants to make a tournament run of his own that he's able to be a big catalyst of. So he's dedicated, and the dedication's paying off.
Williams unable to hit. By the way, it was a pair of Class A technicals, one against Jaquan Scott for Pine-Bluff, and then Cement Ugatolu for SMU. Ugatolu down to Washington, cutting baseline for the rim rocker.
Yeah, and even those quick decisions, Boopie led that whole way. The short roll to Ugatolu, and him also making a great pass to his teammate Washington. Love to see the way this SMU team shares the rock.
Yeah, give Miller the hockey assist for the secondary assist like we're in soccer. ACC champion, SMU men's soccer, by the way. You caught that, didn't you?
I think I did.
It's big time by Kevin Hudson's program. Boopie Miller gets fouled out front.
I think that was an inside foul on Ugatolu. I don't know that for sure, but I think big fella 22 picked up.
I think you're right.
I think Lloyd Jr.
Ramel
picked
Lloyd.
up that. Yeah, yep.
Second on Ramel Lloyd. The fouls mounting on Pine-Bluff. That's already 5 in the first 3 minutes of the second half as Jaron Pierre Jr. takes the handoff from Miller and executes.
Yeah, nice back screen, and Boopie with another assist and another bucket for Pierre Jr.
Yeah, Boopie Miller already coming off the 12 assists, a new career high as Trayvon Payton stepped out of bounds. So a 7-0 run over the last minute 10 for SMU, responding to the 6-0 run.
3 of 3 in the last, for field goals, the last 3 possessions, and just total control outside of that 1 minute of Golden Eagles basketball. They are back to doing what they do. SMU want to continue to execute at this rate.
Largest lead for SMU as Pierre can't hit the tough one, but a blocking foul is called, and Trayvon Payton a little bit frustrated with how late that one was called.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's not the right call. Sometimes it's not always on time, but it doesn't mean it's not correct. Again, this young man is playing some really good basketball, starting to understand what it is that Coach Infield and staff want from him as far as the little things. Again, we've mentioned this before, not about this young man's talent, but he's starting to figure out if he can put the habits and the approach with the talent that he has, he can score with the best of them.
Again, it's the second straight game where he is leading the team in rebounding as well. I mean, used to seeing him lead everybody in scoring, but the rebounding, that takes that next level effort, and he's giving it.
Well, I think his focus on the floor, too, for the little things is definitely.
Miller up top, down hard for Pierre Jr.
Little things just like that. Run the floor, get the stop, finish above the rim. When I do the little things right, my point guard will find me in the air. Boopie with a little Gary Payton-esque
I like it.
Yeah, a little lob. Wasn't quite Sean Kent, but it looked like the Rain Man on the finish.
So Jaron Pierre Jr. up to 17 points now after the slam. And Miller up to 7 dimes. Not even to the first media of the second half. 12-6 SMU. Outscoring Pine-Bluff in an on a 10-0 run that's snapped by Peyton's bucket. Mitchell Holmes back in. More productive work for the young big man in the first half as Yikatolu sits down, nursing that ankle injury from the first half. Peyton, 4 straight games. He's been in double figures. Coming off that D1 career high 22 against Vandy last time out. Like you said, you can fill it up. Doesn't matter if you're a D2 guy or not. Step back 3. He wears number 2, but D2 he is not. And Boopie Miller jawing with Man Williams up the floor too.
Yeah, he's a bad man. Anytime you get poked a bear, it's the wrong bear to poke right there. Don't want to get that one started.
May only be the size of a cub, but still, that bear got a big one between Duke and Kansas as well. We'll be watching that top 25 matchup out east. And here in Dallas, it's SMU on top of Arkansas Pine-Bluff by 26. John Little, Brian Burton, Brianna Sorensen, and the whole crew are on the ACC network.
Yeah, ACC making some noise already this season. North Carolina with a big win early against Kansas. See North Carolina State, Will Wade in his new era, doing well. Washington making 3. He said, I want to get in on this rain making that's going on in Moody.
It is a 3-point party.
Definitely is. Going back to the ACC, Virginia, their new coaching staff also getting some things going in the ACC, so it's exciting to see. I know SMU doesn't probably like the fact they were picked 6, even though they finished 4th last year. So they're looking to overachieve what the expectations are for them again.
You know, I think it is really interesting. You know, it's something that Kevin Hudson, we talked about, the head coach of the SMU men's soccer team, bringing up that he feels like SMU as a whole just does not yet get respect in the ACC. They're seen as a school as a whole that is just kind of lucky to be here, but it's anything but.
Yeah, I don't think that, it doesn't make sense to see it that way, but I think it's more the recency, unbiased almost, of like they haven't been here long enough. They're not used to seeing SMU's name and considering them amongst the traditional powers or just traditional teams within the league. But
I'll tell you, in the era of the transfer portal, though, and this new era of all collegiate sports, things happen so fast. I mean, I get blue bloods and everything, but my goodness.
Well, I think
real quick, SMU has become a factor in every single sport out there as Davis Ray finishes inside.
Oh my God, it's becoming, as they call it, an everything school.
Exactly.
Where you see football playing in the championship last year, the playoffs last year, and you see volleyball top 10 in the country 2 years in a row, soccer playing some elite soccer as usual. And I think some of it with SMU men's and women's basketball, part of it is they weren't coming in as a already successful program in the American at a high level. And maybe I should say successful, but not a championship contending program. So harder for them to see them, hey, you're new kids on the block in this league. This is a bigger level than where you came from. So I think some of it is just that having to earn their respect. But I don't think Andy Infield's worried about that at all, because he's earned plenty of respect at every stop he's been at. This will be the 3rd program, when he's able to get the Ponies into the dance, the 3rd program that he's been able to facilitate and orchestrate to get to dancing. And Sweet 16 for Dunk City, if you remember back in the day at Florida Gulf Coast, that led him to USC, where he had great success in LA as well.
No doubt, as Washington knocks down both free throws. Yeah, we'll see if this is the year for SMU or not. What does it take at this time of year to set you up to be that team that is making the NCAA tournament run? What makes for a successful team then as far as what you do now? How do you prepare your team to do those things?
Yeah, I mean, doing exactly what they're doing now. They're undefeated. They're meeting each challenge as it comes. Every game presents a different puzzle that you're trying to solve and figure out how to win. Last game came down to a game winner and a game defending stop. The Tarleton game had different challenges. The Murray States, this game has had different challenges. So
Corpus Christi was kind of a grind.
Yeah, every one of them, you're just trying to get better as you go. You mentioned it with this transfer portal. You have so many new players on the team, so much new chemistry to figure out. And the good thing for SMU too is they have a lot of chances in the league because the league will be even stronger. So Coach Enfield talked about this. Their wins on the road almost didn't mean as much because those teams didn't have as good of resumes, whereas the ACC is a little stronger, and they have 4 SEC opponents coming up before they start conference play. So they'll have plenty of opportunities to prove their resume.
Oh, yeah. December is a big-time proving ground for this SMU team. Boopie Miller with a dozen as SMU gets Jermaine O'Neal Jr. back into the matchup. By the way, that was the 4th foul on Jaquan Scott, Golden Lions big man. 3 personals and then a Class A technical factoring in there as well. 31-point lead for SMU. Wow, dashing through the double was Williams, but he loses it to the ground. Boopie Miller ahead of the pack and blocked from behind, but fouled.
Yeah, SMU just doing the job this game. I mean, you think about, Coach would probably say, hey, this game we didn't shoot it great. Hey, this game we didn't play 2 halves. So far in this game, they've shot it well, they've defended it well, and they've put together 2 strong halves to this point where they're playing the brand of basketball that they want to play and that they want to build on. Big key now is continuing to do it for the rest of the duration of the game.
Couple free throws for Boopie Miller. SMU top 25 in both free throws made and percentage. Bree Sorensen, why are they so good at free throws? I don't get it.
That's right, John. I know you talked about the importance of free throw in this game, and that's because this SMU team is learning from the best. Coach Enfield ranks 2nd all-time in NCAA history in career free throw percentage. After holding the top spot for 17 years, he shot 92.5% at Johns Hopkins, making 431 out of 466 free throws. Coach joked around saying sometimes the player challenge him to shooting competitions, but he tells them he can't go past that 3-point line, but he will stick to free throws. So moral of the story, do not try Coach Enfield in a free throw contest at practice.
All right. I've been warned. Mitchell Holmes, by the way, man, looks so in control. Love that power dribble. Oh, wow. Great job by Mirosini. Finishes and one as he split the hedge out front.
Yeah, speaking of a little bit of control, man, in the air. Second time he's had one of these acrobatic plays at the rim.
Came out on fire, man. Alex Mirosini from Arlington Martin High School, then about 20 minutes away. Started his career at San Diego Miramar, a community college. Went all the way out to the right coast in West Virginia Wesleyan, and he settled right back in the middle at Pine-Bluff.
SMU getting some of their younger players some experience in the game. Had 4 freshmen in the game a second ago on that last foul. Now have 3 true freshmen in the game in this one.
Nigel Walls, one of them, along with DJ Davis-Ray and the man inbounding, Jermaine O'Neal Jr. So they go to the 1-3-1 here, this Pine-Bluff. Try to get the freshman to make a mistake. Yukitolu out to the corner, willing to make the extra pass. Davis-Ray steps in, deep 2, doesn't fall, but Edwards tracks down the board. New 20, Davis-Ray lays it over the front of the rim. E.J. Davis-Ray from J. Sierra Catholic in California, but originally from St. Louis. Mirosini taking it away, coming up short, grabs his own rebound. He'll do it again. A little short again. That Pine-Bluff set of faithful right behind the bench, ready to go crazy. Yukitolu, watch out. Fouled from behind. Because it's Mississippi State, it's Vandy, it's A&M, and then LSU after that as well.
Yeah, 2 neutral court games to go in there as well. And Yeah, this is what it's about. You want to be tested. You want your team to be ready not only for conference play, but you want them to come out of those games and at least be able to feel like you know exactly where you stand and come away with some victories in that stretch as well.
By the way, that foul on Kyle Brown got upgraded. Let's see what happened here.
Is excessive is what the referees came and told us, and you can see that replay. Great job by them to be able to identify that, get that corrected.
So 2 shots in the ball for SMU. Neither of the free throws good by Yigitolu. But with SMU now in the double bonus for the remainder of the game with 12 minutes left, chance to put that free throw shooting to work for the Mustangs. Right now a chance for Edwards to run the point. A little bit of a different type point guard than Boopie Edwards, but he can get the job done. Yigitolu just a little too tall for the big man. Only the second turnover on Edwards against 7 assists.
Well, both those guys have 7 assists in this game, so when you have point guards that can make plays and create for their teammates, makes your job as a coach much easier.
SMU was looking for 16 assists coming in. They've got 19 tonight. That'll work. From out front, Kyle Brown. Can't make it go. Davis Ray, one of the rookies in there for SMU. Freshman gives it up to Edwards. Yigitolu, hard post work. Tries to post to rise. Brown, and again, fouled on the way by.
Yeah, I think that's the aggressiveness and the way that coach wants to see the big man continue to attack the rim. Those decisive, quick moves inside where the double team can't come. You're turning away. And again, they've celebrated his work on his free throws this offseason, and excited for him to continue to grow here because they know he's going to draw attention to get fouled.
2 of 3 at the line in this game for Sumet. As original starters come back in, Boopie Miller and Corey Washington.
What do you like about Sumet in year 2, Sir Little?
I like the foul discipline. I like how he's not picking up cheap fouls. I also like his rim timing has been a little bit better in the second half of this, or the first part of his second season. Ooh, Miller picked out of the play by Scott. Still the run to the rim by Mirosini doesn't go. O'Neal loses it up in the air.
Yeah, that's one of those plays. You always want to protect your point guard. Got to yell out that screen. Everyone in the gym, you want them to know that that screen is there. Boopie Miller, so dedicated on the defensive side, he had no idea that screen was coming.
I think Yigitolu just in general looks more commanding on the floor as well, more sure of himself, as if this area is mine.
I think his numbers show those things you just talked about too, John.
Washington's drop shot, butter. For Corey Washington, he was at 2 points at the half, and 11 of his 13 have come in the second half. He's 4 of 5 from the floor. Again, a guy that's not hungry for his shot, but fills it up. Jaquan Scott from deep. He's in double figures.
Yeah, Scott showing a little bit of his range. Again, a Mansfield Timberview product that started his high school career there from Dallas, home, and hopefully has found himself a home with the Golden Eagles, a player who can be an all-conference level player in that league.
I think no doubt. Got a big year coming up. Washington from the corner comes up a little bit short. SMU has put up 21 triples in this matchup.
Looks like Yigitolu's not coming down. Got an injury with his ankle, looking to come out of the game.
Man. Once it gets tender, SMU is playing 5-on-4 for a second there. Just a stoppage for the injury here. Well, they're actually going to call it a foul in the 5th on Jaquan Scott. He's fouled out as we get a look at Yigitolu trying to walk off that ankle injury again. It's going to bring Mitchell Holmes back in. And SMU shoots 2 the rest of the way as Jaquan Scott, in his homecoming, fouls out. Scott did so in 22 minutes of work.
Yeah, Coach Bozeman pleading the case. Thought there was contact before that led to that foul. Sometimes the referees only catch the reaction. They don't necessarily catch the first one. Unfortunately, Jaquan Scott will have to watch the rest of this game from the bench.
Scott also picking up a technical foul as well on a double technical earlier on in the game, factoring in on his foul out. Jermaine O'Neal Jr. Southlake kid with a steady confidence is at the free throw line for the first time in his career.
Well, this
He's
is
perfect. Stop the clock.
One of those games where you get a chance to have a lot of minutes for these young players to get some confidence, to build some, game experience with the lights on. One thing to do it in practice, but when you can do it in the games and see the ball go in and have some fun doing it.
Yeah,
I like to see the Pine-Bluff faithful coming out. Great crowd section behind the bench, being able to support UAPB. Coach Bozeman talked about that with the 2 young men from Dallas coming home, along with just a big fan base in this Dallas-Fort Worth area. They came out to see their club play, and they let the refs know they didn't like that call that time, John, and it got overturned.
it did. As the official from across the way actually saw it, the lead official was the one, Roger Ayers, who had to hustle all the way across the way and overturn the call that Tommy Morrissey and Claire Aubrey had agreed upon. Milan Charles, a 21-year-old freshman out of France, a G League draftee. Back in the day, G League draftees could not play in college basketball, but those days are no more, of course. And Charles is another puzzle piece for Arkansas Pine-Bluff, where Solomon Bozeman says, hey, we got everything we need, and Charles is a big part of that.
Getting some of the international flavor to come to Arkansas. Loves the roster versatility that they have. Again, working to work out some of the kinks. That's the early part that's so hard for the Pine-Bluff schedule as they play on the road. Coach says we haven't even had a chance to practice. All we can do is travel and walk through or shoot arounds.
As O'Neal Jr. knocks down the triple.
Speaking of shooting around, let it fly, young fella, let it fly. Another three-point basket goes in for the Mustangs, now up to 10 in the game.
And O'Neal called for the foul. Number 88 player on the ESPN Top 100, O'Neal Jr.
Yeah, just a little too physical. And then the swipe down. With that athleticism and length, you want to keep yourself vertical. But this young man, you mentioned it, from Arlington, coming home himself. And he has definitely had some highlight plays. You can see the talent. He's worked his way up from the junior college ranks all the way up to now being a Division I guard. And you can see a lot of promise on this club, and he's going to be a big reason why the Golden Eagles can have success.
Coach Bozeman saying, he admits that Mirosini struggled a little bit to start the season, shooting this 29% from 3, and the 1 of 10 tonight is not going to help. But he really wants the world to see how good Alex Mirosini is, and hopefully he'll have that chance this season. Boopie Miller, nice maneuver down the baseline, and Washington finishes with a flash inside.
And Boopie's so good. I think, not that it was a bad play to make last year, but I feel like last year he would have scored that basket. Now he's looking so much more at how can I continue to create for my teammates and make things easier on them. Another assist.
Back-to-back double-doubles for Boopie Miller.
Yeah, he's got at least 5 assists in each game this season. He's the first Mustang with 5+ assists in 5 straight games since a young man named Kendrick Davis, who I think most people are familiar with. He was the American Conference Player of the Year when he played here.
He was just outstanding at the guard spot. And Boopie Miller, known more as a scorer when he came over from Wake Forest. But, man, just the way he's running the show this year. It's been a revelation. Another assist, this time O'Neal Jr. No, but O'Neal runs down the rebound. Pierre inside, shouldering off a defender. And the train coming downhill.
That is a Sports Center play. The truck coming down the lane. Looking like a running back hitting a hole.
Lloyd doesn't go. SMU blowing this thing open in the second half. They scored 45 in the first half, and in the first 12 and a half minutes of the second half, they've got 46. That's ridiculous.
So in other words, you're saying they're playing well, John?
Yes. And a very rare turnover for SMU tonight is Washington.
The youngest player to ever be drafted in the NBA and play an NBA game. He started his career in Portland and was the most improved player at one point in time. 3-time All-NBA. Just an incredible resume for a player who came out of high school. 6'11", a little taller than his son, but his son, I don't know. They may, if they had a dunk contest, Jermaine, I don't know. Your son, he's right there with you.
Yeah, and a true 5. Meanwhile, Jermaine Jr., I mean, he's a wing. Is what he's going to be. It's about 6'5" right now. So different games for sure, but still very, very effective.
Yeah, but how cool to be able to watch your son play college basketball and sit courtside. You see the same thing with guys like Carmelo, being able to see his son play. And you see a lot of NBA guys having their sons have success.
Absolutely.
Dominique Wilkins' son is playing at Georgia.
LeBron's son played for Andy Enfield.
He sure did. He sure did. I see you keeping track, John. I see that.
I read the papers. I still get the papers.
The papers kind of like the internet? Is that
Yeah, exactly.
Is
I print out the internet.
that what people used to use before that?
Mm-hmm.
Horse and buggy? Is that how they delivered it? I'm not sure.
Well, Jaron Pierre Jr., he is a renaissance man. 19 points in this one. So he's got at least 18 in each of his 5 games in an SMU uniform. That's some consistency.
Yeah, starting to play, again, his best basketball of his young SMU career, starting to really get into a stride. And he's going to be a big factor on this team, as losing 3 double-figure scores from last year's team, they would need his point production.
Well, good thing they start 5 double-figure scores this season, and it's going to remain that way after tonight as well. Most extended playing time for some of these freshmen, like O'Neal, who gets it from Pierre, lofts the triple and rolls it down. That is a smooth stroke for Jermaine O'Neal Jr., his first double-figure game in an SMU uniform.
Well, we talked a lot about his dad, but also this young man, he's an elite defender, the staff says. They love his defensive tenacity and length and athleticism. If he can figure out that three-point shooting is something that they need. He's a great rebounder as well. He can fill a spot that they need in the rotation as a 3-and-D wing.
Yeah, so maybe the freshmen don't start. Maybe 1 or 2 of them do as the season goes on, but they provide valuable depth for this team going forward.
Well, there's one that's definitely going to start as soon as he gets back in the uniform. I don't know if we know if we've seen how good that young man is yet, but Mr. Toombs is must-see TV, just a elite competitor, kind of an old-school game, can score, can rebound, has a high IQ, and SMU fans are going to love seeing that young man play. And speaking of love, another finish. They call it a fillet, the kids do.
I see you doing the hard hands over there. Love what Pierre Jr. is doing.
He said he was on his way to a 24-10 evening, and this man lives at the rim, lives at the line, so physical, strong, and athletic, and again, no extra celebration. He's been there before. He's really kind of getting in sync with this staff and what they expect from him. And that's a great sign for SMU fans to see number 5 getting better and better at what he does.
So it's a 23-piece.
14-0 run, by the way.
I see it. 7 rebounds, 4 assists in 27 minutes, 8 of 14 from the floor. Just some light work for Jaron Pierre Jr. And Pierre comes in. Team gets a little younger. 3-pointer from out top. Johnson hard off the heel. And too much contact underneath. This foul is going to go on SMU. PJ Davis-Ray.
Is there a time in life where you've referred to yourself and somebody, you just told them like, hey, that's light work? In reference to yourself? I just wanted to know.
No. I
love that you use
everybody.
It for,
I want everybody to think that everything I do is very, very difficult and I'm putting a lot of effort into it all the time. I want them to know how much I'm inconvenienced by the fact that I have to put forth some effort.
Well, BJ Edwards put forth light work right there on the midi for the 100 for this SMU club that's averaging right at 90 a game. They get to 100 yet again on the season.
It's no 6-7. The kids don't get excited about 100 like they do about 6-7 these days.
Oh.
100 to 50. SMU doubling up Pine-Bluff tonight.
Do you think your kids know how cool you are in terms of like cultural awareness?
Yeah, they try to deny it. I let them know every now and again.
It's light work.
Edwards, little shake and bake. And on the fadeaway, it comes up short. Dennis Osoro out of Columbus, Ohio. Second-year transfer from Hocking Community College, tears down the rebound. Little developmental time for both sides. Catch and shoot triple for the freshman. Hayes is over the top. Offensive rebound, Osoro. The Golden Lions get it again as Payton tears to the glass, leaves it inside. Osoro can't finish, and a host of SMU Mustangs in transition. Edwards looks off. Davis Ray banging inside, feeds it out. Spot up three from the corner. O'Neal Jr. cinches the strings.
Tell you what, this young man, you can tell he put a lot of reps in that shot because he is catching it and shooting it with a lot of confidence, and that one snapped the net, letting people know I do this.
3-and-D looks pretty good on Jermaine O'Neal Jr.
I think the student section is calling for some of the walk-ons to get in the game.
They want Trey Utter. They think it's Trey Utter time. And
definitely will not be the last, as this team has a lot of offensive firepower.
The Mustangs have 3 straight games. Oh, my goodness. Jermaine O'Neal Jr., 3, D, and D for dunk.
This young man having a career game.
15. Oh, B.J. Edwards.
Tell you what, O'Neal Jr. showing the promise. The no-look by Edwards for the lob. So nasty, and the authority for number 7.
It's contagious, the hops. Another rejection, this time by Nigel Walls, the freshman out of Houston.
Well, this is one of those games that for Jermaine O'Neal Jr. will definitely give him a ton of confidence, and this is why that time in the game with the lights on makes such a difference. And number 7 showing, hey, not only am I already in the rotation, but I'm going to be able to contribute. Uh-oh, we got a few substitutions coming in, or maybe one.
Yeah, Trey Utter, the only not redshirting player who hasn't played in this game. There's a big collision on the baseline. And it looks like Trayvon Payton got the worst of that. Well, the excitement is utterly palpable as Trey Utter is entering the contest out of the metropolis of Argyle, Texas.
You think they're excited?
The entire town of Argyle?
Not only them, but the student section.
Oh, student sections, they are hyped. Now, what's going to happen on his first catch and shoot attempt from about, 24 feet? That's the question.
I mean, so many times it's hard to get 2 full minutes of game time. I know that sounds like it's not a lot, but games are so tight. SMU getting the job done, dominating from start to finish in this game, wire to wire, and creating some great opportunity for some young men to get a chance to get some prime time minutes.
Hurrier, his 3 crawls over the top. That is three-point attempt number 27 tonight for SMU. The wings and the corners have been open this evening for Andy Enfield's team, and they've knocked down 12 of them. No, you're exactly right. You know, so often the walk-ons at the end of the bench, they get, 20 seconds at the end, and students are thrilled with that. But 2 minutes, it's like an eternity.
Well, SMU did the job tonight. I mean, you look at the stats, 58% from the floor, 12 threes made, 19 of 24 from the free throw line, able to get 44 points in the paint still, just all facets of the game.
Oh, double clutch. Three-pointer by Ahmad Johnson right against the shot clock. Hits his 4th of the year.
Defensively, being able to hold Pine-Bluff to just 35%.
Walls going baseline. Out top, Jermaine O'Neal Jr. A little bit long. Puryear had the rebound for a moment, but it's stolen away by Brown. And another Mustang. Nicolo catcher Stork is up. Alisher Stork ready to come in for the first time. And he'll do that after the timeout for substitution for SMU. So with mere moments left, Kalisher Stork goes baseline, tries to dump it off inside, and Chance Puryear is fouled. A chance for the Dallas Carter kid, Carter Cowboy, to try a couple free throws and get on the board for the first time in his career. Puryear knows the system, plays to it with no hesitation. Now in his 2nd season, kind of a physical cutter guy, a rebounder from the wing spot at 6'7".
6'7".
The first point of his career, and he's called for the rebounding violation. So up next for the SMU Mustangs, they stay at home and they get Arkansas State over the weekend, and then Radford next week. That one thrown behind the intended recipient, Kyle Brown, with 37 seconds left. Wire-to-wire victory for Andy Enfield's team. Nearly, almost led the whole way tonight. So for the Mustangs, what do you take out of a game like this?
Yeah, you just take the confidence. You executed the game plan, dominating on all facets. And you look to build to go forward.
Good idea through the legs of Puryear. Keeps things moving forward.
He was supposed to shoot that one.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't get the memo.
He plays the game the right way.
I was about to say, credit to him for playing the right way, but he'll learn. Hey, let it fly, buddy. You've earned
8 seconds left. Another block. 2nd one by Walls. Again, dislodges it, and that one will count for Kyle Brown. But the SMU Mustangs